Welcome back to Mind Over Matter. I'm Anastasia. When we think about trauma, we often picture emotional pain, but trauma can live in the body too. For some people, it starts after a major health event. In the UK, the NHS estimates that around 1 in 3 people who experience life-threatening medical emergency may go on to develop symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. Today we welcome Bolaji. He is an evangelist financial advisor, and he's here to basically share his story surrounding trauma and his anxiety, and also he's going to share about what he does business-wise. So Bolaji, what brings you here today?
Thanks for having me, Anastasia. Yes, it's a privilege to be here, to be able to talk about why I'm here. 4 years ago, I had a massive cardiac arrest in my house. Had to be defibrillated 10 times in the house to be kept alive. The doctors told my wife I wasn't going to make it, and I was put in an induced coma. But thankfully I'm here. There was a long journey of recovery, and it all went well. I was happy, back to life. But then a year later, my ICD in my chest gave me a shock 4 times in the space of a month. When that happens, it's a violent shock, and it needs, it's like someone shot you in the chest, basically, and I needed counseling. After those shocks, I didn't understand why my body was misbehaving, dizzy spells and all that kind of stuff. And one night, I woke up and the word PTSD came into my memory. Then I just looked through the symptoms. What are the symptoms? And I could take them one by one: vertigo, heavy legs, all that kind of stuff. Things that the doctors couldn't identify. And that's when my journey started in understanding how I needed to be able to battle the anxiety and the panic attacks that had kept me in the room in my house.
How did you feel once you were out of hospital and trying to go back to normal life, trying to kind of find reality? How did you feel about that?
It was exciting for once, in terms of being I just felt blessed that every day was a gift, basically. And then with having a cardiac arrest, there's an impact to the brain. So my brain had to compute now being on the streets, you know, the senses and stuff like that. So there was a lot of cognitive fatigue, but again, that was still something that I accepted and I was happy to deal with. But then once those shocks happened that I mentioned earlier, it was a big setback for my confidence as well. Sometimes I would think I'll be in the movies or maybe we're talking to someone and I just drop to my knee. I just completely couldn't control my body. But thanks to me understanding more about PTSD and the imbalance in your system, your fight or flight senses are all over the place. You know, you see a car and you're like, oh, there's a cat or you know, or a lion or something. So, but gradually I started to understand more about sleeping right, eating right, words of affirmation, words from the scripture as well. And there was a good book that really helped me to understand how to deal with those symptoms and help me with my journey back to normality, so to speak.
And living with PTSD must be very difficult for you, isn't it? And obviously you must have kind of thoughts or fears that stay with you, isn't it? So it must be very hard. How do you cope?
I think with the support from the St. Bart's Psychology Hospital, they were really helpful because they had experience dealing with real life scenarios. There were practical exercises. Diet was key to that as well. And again, words of affirmation. And this book, shameless plug here, by Joshua Fletcher. So he's actually gone through the journey that a lot of us had. Tackling that fear of not being able to leave the house and stuff like that. and there was really practical advice. I strongly recommend it to anyone as well. This book and the Bible.
Yeah, I think reading something that you're passionate about really helps the mindset.
Yeah.
Especially like positive affirmations, listening to audios, things like that really is positive. So that's really good.
Yeah.
And so is that what helped you start to recover?
Or
was it more faith or family?
A lot of faith, family, and diet is key there. I had to cut out caffeine in my diet, probiotics, just to help with the guts, because the content of your guts impacts the brain as well. So those were the packages there: scripture, diet, sleep, and this by Joshua Fletcher. Yeah.
That's really good advice, yeah. And obviously, did learning from PTSD and suffering from mental health change the way you saw recovery? Change the way how you think about recovery? Or
yeah, it's changed the way I treat recovery, and also very sympathetic to people who sometimes you see someone and they're having a dizzy spell. You think, oh, he's drunk, but he may not be drunk. He may be actually having a mini panic attack. So you can't just
judge people,
just
basically.
Judge people blindly.
Yeah, like some people could have side effects from taking medication, and you might think they're high, but they're not high.
Yeah,
they've just taken a lot of medication.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, no,
correct.
I know what you mean. So before filming, you mentioned you are a financial protection evangelist.
Yes.
Can you elaborate more on that? Because I'm sure viewers would want to know. And what is it that you do?
That? Yeah. I mean, in a nutshell, I spent 20 years in the financial services banking sector. When I had my cardiac arrest, I had a critical illness cover insurance that paid out. A lot of people don't have that protection. I saw someone in the hospital who was really worried about how they were going to protect the mortgage, and a few of my policies were set up incorrectly, and I lost those policies as well. So this is what I do now, full-time, advising people on the right protection, having the policies put till age 90, just a more robust protection for the families as well. And the name of the company is Iyanu Financial Services. Iyanu means miracle in Yoruba, so the miracle is twofold, basically, that I'm here speaking to you.
So viewers, please follow his website, follow his social media.
LinkedIn.
That's amazing.
LinkedIn, Instagram, yeah.
So this story has made you very passionate about what you do now, basically.
Yeah. The
so
passion
it links to it, yeah.
The passion's always been there, but this is even more compounded why I'm here to help people, yeah.
No, that's really inspiring. If you've experienced trauma, anxiety, or you're struggling after a serious health event, you are not alone. Support is available on the NHS website. You can find it on www.nhs.uk/PTSD. Link is below. And thank you, Bolaji, for sharing your powerful story and for reminding us that recovery is not just physical, but it is emotional and mental strongness too. Just to let you know, viewers, we're not mental health specialists or psychologists. This is for you, for your awareness and for your inspiration to hear these amazing stories. Thank you, Bolaji.
Thank you.
And is there anything else you would like to share?
I just want to say thank you to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because without him I wouldn't be here. To my wife and to the hundreds of people who were fasting and praying for my recovery. And and thank you for having me. This is a platform for me to be able to spread not just my faith, but also to give practical advice to people who are suffering from mental disorders, panic attacks and things like that as well.
Yeah, thank you. And we hope to see you again.
I'll be back.
So let's now hear from Carole and Donna, who will be sharing their experience with hypnosis. Do stay tuned. So, welcome back. Many people think of healing as something that starts with the body or by talking about our feelings. But what if real healing starts deeper in the subconscious mind? According to the NHS, hypnotherapy can be effective for managing anxiety, phobias, or by helping people access the thoughts stored beneath the surface. Today we're joined by Carole, a therapist who uses methods like hypnosis to help people heal from emotional blocks, and Donna, who has experienced those techniques herself. Carole, let's start with you.
Hi.
Hello, thank you for coming onto the show.
You're welcome, it's my pleasure.
So can you explain what subconscious healing really means?
Okay, so your subconscious is there to protect you, really. It's there to tell you what's risky and what's not, what to do and what not. But sometimes our subconscious becomes hypervigilant, and then your subconscious will tell you something's dangerous when it's not, for instance, or something's potentially bad when it's not. And that's how people get phobias and blocks to their progress and all sorts of mental health issues. So contacting somebody's subconscious and allowing that subconscious to heal and to make progress and to stop being so hypervigilant and to just take normal risk is beneficial to people. It can really help people to get over things that are blocking them from a healthy mental state.
So people tend to listen to their subconscious mind more?
Oh, absolutely, all the time, without realising it, obviously.
Yeah.
Our subconscious is being influenced by the world around us, by the things that we hear, and by our own voice and the things that we tell ourselves. And it basically rules our life to a great extent. If you go to do something and you decide you don't want to do it because it's too scary, it's your subconscious that's telling you to stop doing it. It's your subconscious that's informing you whether to take that risk or not. So your subconscious can stop you from doing things you really need to do. For example, somebody who's agoraphobic, the reason they can't leave their home is because their subconscious is telling them it's too dangerous to leave their home for some reason. So tapping into that subconscious and allowing it to relearn the scripts that it's telling you will heal that issue.
Okay. That's interesting, you know. And Carole, for someone new to this, how would you describe the subconscious mind and it's linked to our emotions? I think you just said the whole phobia and...
Yeah. And with our emotions, so for instance, if you've had a relationship with a family member or a partner and you've been hurt, your subconscious will be thinking, okay, so for instance, if somebody's upset you, your subconscious will then say to you, okay, well that was a threat to Anastasia's well-being and she's got over it, but we need to make sure it doesn't happen again. So your subconscious will look out for any reminders of that thing and give that feeling of fear back to you. So the slightest little reminder of that issue will bring that feeling back over and over again. And quite often, over time, the reminders that your subconscious reacts on become smaller and smaller. And with some people, they really don't even remember the original issue. They just know that every time they attempt to go into a relationship or have a conversation, it feels bad. And that's how your subconscious reacts to it.
So when they say you need to listen to your mind more than your heart, do you agree with that?
Well, I think your heart is your subconscious in a certain way. I think your heart is some people call your heart feelings your instincts. Some people call your heart feelings their higher self or their soul, depends on your belief. But I think what people refer to as their heart feelings can be tapped into and used to help them to heal, help them to be a more comfortable person. I don't think there's a clear division between those things.
No, okay. And how does our mental state affect the body and vice versa?
Okay, so your mental state affects your body because every time your brain changes and goes into fight or flight, some sort of distress mode, your whole physical body changes. For instance, if you start to go into fight or flight, which happens more often than we realise, it shuts down your digestive system. It diverts the oxygen in your blood to your extremities rather than your inner body. All sorts of things like your bladder, your lungs, your heart rate, everything is affected. So if you spend a lot of time in stress, your physical body isn't keeping an equilibrium. It's spending too much time basically with your heart racing, your blood diverting to your extremities, and your brain is affected as well. So as soon as you go into some sort of stress mode, your brain changes so that it shuts down the part of your brain that processes language, reason, learning. So you can see how spending a great deal of time in stress can affect your mind, your ability to think properly, your ability to communicate. And your mind can affect your body the other way around as well. So if you if you're in a state of stress, your brain will affect certain parts of your organs. But if certain parts of your organs are out of balance, that will inform your subconscious that something's wrong. You know, if your subconscious is telling you that there's a reason for you to be scared, you're going to feel all the feelings that come along with fear and respond to that. So the two need to be working in equilibrium.
Yeah, it's hard though to...
It is.
You know?
Yeah, it is hard. And this is why we all need help. You know, as a therapist, I recognise that I can't heal myself. I need help. And I did experience this some years ago in a way that I was going through a particularly bad time and beat myself up thinking, okay, why can't I heal myself? And even my kids said to me, okay, Mum, what would you say to a client? What would you say to somebody else? And that's when I realised that actually I needed to go to somebody else. We all need help from outside from time to time.
Yeah, because we don't listen to ourselves sometimes. We can. It's easier to listen to other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also when we're trying to listen to ourselves, we're also listening to that subconscious that's
Yes.
not giving us the right information always.
Exactly. Okay, that's that's interesting. So Donna, thank you again for coming.
Welcome.
Can you describe how it felt to go through the process and what changes you noticed after from what we've just explored, basically? Yeah.
Well, I actually met Carole at a social gathering, so I felt a little bit more relaxed because I knew her through somebody else. Prior to that, I probably wouldn't have gone down the route of hypnosis, to be honest with you, but because I felt so relaxed and I spoke to her like a friend, I thought I will take that chance. And I'm glad that I did, to be honest with you, because it really does tap into your subconscious. And afterwards, I just found that the things that came out from myself were things that, if I was realistic with myself, I knew, but I didn't want to admit to myself. So you sometimes just need someone to just draw out from your, it's all in your own mind. Carole's not telling me anything to do or how to do it. She's just drawing out from me what is in my actual own mind, and things that, if you went in this direction, what would happen? If you went in this direction, what would happen? It's like, which door, A, B, or C? And when you start to see what direction you'll go in, if you go through each door, it kind of gives you that click to say, okay, you need to, if you want this, this is what you need to do. So yeah, I found it very rewarding, to be honest with you, and it's really helped.
But what's the difference between hypnosis and therapy, though? And is it linked together? Does that make sense? Or is it like...
It does. I mean, I use other things apart from hypnosis. So as a therapist, I often explain this by saying that I've got an invisible tool bag. And in my invisible therapy tool bag is hypnosis and lots of other things too. I use neuro-linguistic programming and thought field therapy and all sorts of other things that I've learned over the years. Hypnosis is just one of those tools. So hypnosis is a therapy in the same way that other things are other methods of therapy work as well.
So it's just another method?
It's a tool, yes.
Oh,
it is,
okay.
yeah.
I didn't even know that. So, okay.
For me, the difference was, for therapy, you're speaking to somebody and you're very much awake like we are now.
Yes.
The hypnosis, I was in just a much more relaxed state. So I'm just really just relaxed and just letting my mind just be free. And then you're still drawing out. And I think that's where it's a bit more deeper, because you're just in such a relaxed state. It's just, it's drawing out from you what's in your...
No, I would like to try hypnosis because I've had therapy one-to-one, talking.
Yes.
But I would like to try and experience hypnosis.
Well, you're welcome to come and see me anytime you wish.
So Donna, you were saying that therapy helped you in a professional way. Can you explain better what that means, and where also can people find you, Carole, as well? So,
So as regards to myself, I run a modelling agency for children and adults, and I'm
Yeah.
a photographer by trade. And obviously because of things that have happened in my personal life, I stopped for a little while just to research. And with speaking to Carole, it actually allowed me to understand my blockages. So then it allowed me to go back into what I was doing in a deeper way. And with that, I could then start helping other people with what I enjoy doing. So I do workshops for children and adults to help build up their confidence. So with that, as I said, through speaking to Carole, it actually just tapped into my subconscious to say, okay, what do you want to do? And if you go through door A, B or C, what will be the outcome? And then it's almost like me looking into the future of what do I want from this? And then it made me go in deeper into what I wanted to do. So it just gave me that push that I really needed.
yeah, so it really helped you, not just emotionally, but through your work life as well.
Yes. And then the workshops that I do, it actually helped me to actually go through and start doing those.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And Carole, where can we find you?
I have a website, and my
Yeah.
company name is Think Success. So my website is www.thinksuccessuk.com. And if anybody contacts me, I can put them in touch with the best person they can see near to them if I'm too far away.
That's really good. So yes, please have a look at the link below. And are you on social media as well?
Yes, on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok at Carole Ritchie.
Yeah, okay. So thank you guys so much for coming.
You're welcome.
Very inspiring, and yeah. So don't forget, if you want to find a talking therapy service as well, go on www.nhs.uk/talk. Thank you, Carole and Donna,
Thank you.
for sharing your insights and personal experiences. And we'll hope to have you again as well.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Mind Over Matter. I'm Alex Ranahan, and today we're talking about something many people experience but rarely admit: imposter syndrome. Now, many people don't even realise that to have this syndrome, it's a feeling of not being good enough or deserving of your achievements, even when you've worked hard to get there. A recent survey by Indeed UK found that about 62% of adults in the UK have felt imposter syndrome at some point in their lives, and many say it affects their mental well-being. Now, our guest Matt Garman knows this feeling well. He's built achievements in his life, but still found himself questioning his worth. So today, he'll share how it started. So Matt, thank you for joining us. Could you start by telling us where and when in your life you started to feel that something wasn't right?
Well, I grew up in what I deemed to be a very academic family, and I kind of got the feeling in my early teens that I probably didn't really fit into it. My dad was a high-level consulting engineer. My mum was a high-level music teacher. My older brother's a doctor of mathematics. My younger brother is a doctor of horticulture. And that whole academic feeling just didn't sit with me. As a result of that, I left home at 16. I had two interests at school. One was playing rugby and the other one was going fishing. And I left home at 16 and I ended up becoming a T-boy on a trawler in Newhaven on the south coast. And it's not something I was ever going to do forever, but I kind of just needed to go away and try and find my own path. I think it's probably never left me. Since then I've been fortunate enough to grow a couple of businesses, and also I've probably still kept that thought process in my head, and I still push myself probably more than I think is comfortable at times, if that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. So, how would you define imposter syndrome?
To me, it's a feeling of feeling inadequate, and I think at some stage, kind of looking around your shoulder, even when you feel like you have achieved something, the feeling that
at some stage you're going to look over your shoulder, somebody's going to tap you on the shoulder and call you out. And it's like, yeah, but you weren't really, or something like that. So I think that feeling, and it struggles, the feeling that you're going to get found out, or somebody's going to call you out. It's like you're not the real deal, and it kind of still floats around at times, even today, really.
Did it ever stop you from taking the opportunities you wanted?
I think, there's a number of business things I've done, but there's also a number of physical challenges. One of the and I've always been into sport. I've always been into adventure, and probably perhaps the most recent big thing that I really challenged myself with. I'd say I've always been into sport. I played a lot of rugby, and then outside of that, I pushed myself. I did kind of Ironman-y type events and endurance events. But there's one particular thing, and I watched some videos about people rowing across the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
And I was struck by it. It's like, have these people got something that I don't have inside me? And that in itself was a feeling of imposter syndrome. And it's like, I've got to, and then after a period of time, in actual fact, what compelled me to do, I lost my dad during lockdown. And then it was a case of, do you know what? I'm going to have to go and find out, and that's the only way I can address it as much as anything else.
Yeah.
It was a feeling of, am I going to get found out? Can't I? Have they got something that I don't have? And then push on from there, really.
Did support from others, like your friends or your mentors, play a role in your journey?
They have. I think I've got this thing that I've had in my head for quite some time. I've always had people that have encouraged me in sport and business. Sorry, sport and the adventure. And then also I've had, in business, I've had what I call a virtual board. So I've got sort of 3 or 4 people who, they may not be, it's not formal or any structured or anything else like that, but there's 3 or 4 people in my life that I've had for quite some time that they know me. They know my character. I'm very comfortable being uncomfortable, and I'm very comfortable being, I feel like I'm being vulnerable with them, and I can share, and I kind of say, this is how I feel. And those kind of people have been very, very helpful for me, and if ever I've had conversations, sometimes it's been over a coffee, or it's been over a meal or something like that. And it's like, and then they've given me that reinforcement. It's like, well, Matt, you know the answer. You just need that extra little bit of, dare I say it, sometimes validation, as much as anything else, to get you to push on, and whatever that happened, that challenge or what that hurdle happens to be.
So what have you learned about valuing your achievements?
I found myself, I think what I got myself, you go reflect on, I'm 56 this month, and you reflect on your life as certain things, and I think maybe what I've realised is that voice that I had, that I thought I had, actually wasn't there anyway. I always felt that I didn't fit into the kind of family mindset. I think I struggled in the fact that the only level of benchmarking in my family was academic success. And it's only recently that I realised, and maybe, in 5, 10, 20 years or something, I've realised that in actual fact I am good enough, and that's only one benchmark. So moving forward, it's just that feeling that, I am worth it, I am worthy, and I think I probably picked unnecessary fights in my head, and picked unnecessary fights with, dare I say it, with people around me, and that's not been healthy moving forward. In actual fact, there's one particular, I kind of had this crazy image that Dad was pushing me in a certain way that, he's passed away now, but in a certain way that, I felt I always had to demonstrate to Dad that I was, whilst I didn't do the academic stuff, look at me, I've done this, I've sold a business, or I've rode all these sorts of things. And to me, it was just this thing in my head. It's like, it's still not good enough, it's still not good enough. And there was one particular day or night, on the ocean and I'm rowing, and we must have been rowing for five weeks. Big weather, stormy type stuff, and you're up against the world, you're up against the ocean, you're up against yourself. And I remember shouting out, just out of pure, it's like, well, if that's just not good enough, then I don't care anymore. And it was almost like a huge release. It's like, do you know what? I am worth it. I am good enough, and I try and share that when I speak at leadership events, and I try and, it's like, look, we've all got a story inside of us. Don't hold it back, sort of thing, as much as anything else.
So look, if someone feels like they're not enough, even when they're trying their best, what would you say to them?
This comes up quite often, and I think we live in this world of social media. We live in this world of people looking at their phone. Everyone's living their best life and photos of this, and I'm going around the world and all these sorts of things. Or I'm doing all these glamorous things, and this is what you see, and obviously it's in our face. It's in our face all the time, and the biggest thing that I can take away, and the biggest thing that I've learned is I am me, and the biggest thing is, don't compare yourself to other people. There is only one person we need to compare ourselves to, and that's the person we were yesterday. And am I better at what I do? Am I better as a professional? Am I better as a human being? Or am I a better version of me? And to be honest with you, that's my biggest message when it comes to those sorts of concerns, queries. And even I have it, there's times when we all have self-doubt at periods of time. So to me, I break it down, and it's like, am I better at whatever I'm doing, or am I a better person than I was yesterday? That's fine. And that's all I can do.
It's almost like you're measuring yourself towards where you were as opposed to where you're going.
Yeah.
Because whenever you're going forward, that's going to move. But the person that you were previous, you're always building on top of that.
Totally. And then there's also times when what you started looking for or aiming at, you start on the journey and you go, do you know what? That's not quite as interesting, or it's not quite as appealing, or in actual fact that doesn't feel like the journey that I thought it would do. Yeah. And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to change tack. I've realised that, and I think as much as anything else, we have some. I believe now that life's chapters, and there's some of those chapters perhaps earlier on about Matt were they finished. Okay, I've moved on, and I do believe that life is a journey. It's made up of chapters. Hey, that chapter didn't go according to plan, but that's okay. I've closed it, and I've opened the next one, but I think it's also realising that with it being a journey, sometimes you have to realise that you have to go to that uncomfortable place in order to get to that place. Yeah. And maybe that was the actual apprenticeship. That was the preparation for the next phase, if that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. That's amazing. Thank you very much. So if self-doubt or low confidence is affecting your mental well-being, support is available through Mind UK. And in fact, you can see the link on the screen now at www.mind.org.uk. So Matt, that was amazing. Thank you so much for speaking so openly about something that many of us struggle with. Your story reminds us that self-doubt doesn't mean we're unworthy. It means we're human.
Welcome again to Mind Over Matter. I'm Daniela. Today we're talking about motivation. In the UK, research by the Mental Health Foundation shows that 1 in 5 adults feel their work negatively impacts their mental health, often leading to burnout or loss of purpose. Yet for some, those challenges become the fuel for growth. I'm very honoured to welcome our next guest, Mariette. He has turned his career experiences, the highs and the lows, into powerful lessons about personal growth. Louis, thank you for joining us today.
Daniela, my goodness, it's such a pleasure to see you again. You know, and you're looking gorgeous, you're looking well, you're looking fit and energetic. I love that.
So are you, and it's your energy as well. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us a little bit about your journey?
Absolutely, Daniela. I mean, I've been very lucky in life, but you know, luck doesn't always fall on everyone's plate, right? And sometimes it doesn't, but you just got to make luck happen. And like anything in life, putting your best foot forward is always a positive way. I was actually born in Malawi. Wow. I then lived in Botswana and Swaziland. My mother remarried, and an Englishman who was a vet, who was on contract with the UK, and that's how I ended up in the UK, going backwards and forwards to boarding school. But I probably would never have experienced coming, you know, over to England if it wasn't for him. But also having this life in Africa, so it was the best of both worlds. But what I had in Africa, you know, as a person in the LGBT community, I might not have been able to flourish and thrive, right, in Africa, because, you know, there's certain areas where you can't be who you are there. So I found coming to England was a remarkable country. People gave you opportunities, people were kind to you, people were giving, and if you were hungry as an individual with enthusiasm and drive, I think you can go far in life. And I think, you know, whatever I find, if someone's watching out there and there's just one person that can take 1 or 2 tips from me today, I've done my job, right? You know,
Absolutely.
So I think it's really important that.
How do you stay motivated during challenging or uncertain times?
Quite easily. I always think of the person behind me who's probably having a rougher time, and I think, you know what, Louis, kick yourself up the rear, don't complain about it, and go forward. But there are things, where I've always believed if things are challenging, if things are tough at the time, do something really basic. Sit down, get a piece of paper and a pen, and start writing things down. Say, what's lacking in your life? What can I improve in life? What is my strategy plan? So you have to think about all these different types of things, write them on pen and paper, because that way, once it's down on paper, you have something to follow. If you just keep it in your head, it just sort of vanishes over time. But when you have that and you stick it to your bedroom wall or on your fridge door, you think, you know what, month 1, have I achieved this? What have I done to achieve it? And how can I improve? Have I called a person up to see if a door can be opened for me, an opportunity can be opened for me? And sometimes what happens is you have to appreciate we need to have a job to get our basic bread and butter and our earnings. But what you also find with a lot of people is they do their jobs, it's like a guinea pig on one of these wheels. It just goes round and round, and they're feeling a bit demotivated and feeling flat. And sometimes what you have to do is just pull yourself away and go, okay, the job is my bread and butter. What can I do outside work which will fulfill me? So that could be, you know, you could be going to creatively, you could be going to a pottery class, you could be doing an art class, you could be joining the gym. I'm a great advocate with exercise. I mean, you know, running is my big thing. I've done 14 marathons. I've taken part in 2 triathlons, and I'm due to swim next year, 11 miles swim up Lake Windermere. So that's my personal sort of goal and challenge for doing something outside of my work. And sometimes you've got to put that into your life to inspire yourself and reignite yourself. And also remember this one thing. People think, oh, I'm not flush, I haven't got much money. You don't need much money, because at the end of the day, there's lots of, if you research, there's lots of communities, there's lots of organisations that are more than willing to help and support and being part of a group. And one of the best things to do in life is to talk.
Absolutely. And talk to you.
And I talk too much, right?
I love your talking. I can listen all day. So how important, Louis, has personal growth been for your professional journey?
Oh, absolutely. So I originally started off as a party planner. From there,
wow.
Yeah, a friend had been seeing these headpieces I was making for my hosts. And what was quite amazing was a creative director, Michael Dye, had seen what I was doing. He had asked me to do a big fashion show in Milan. I just loved it. I got the commission. I did 20 hats. 19 were commissioned, used for the show. Then Harrods found out about me. Through that journey, it's quite bizarre actually, and through that journey, you know, I made other doors open. You know, I knocked on doors. You know, nothing comes on a silver platter, right, for free.
Absolutely.
You've got to knock on that door, you know, if you want an entrance. And if you don't knock, you don't get an answer. So I knocked on doors, and then just over time, Britain's Next Top Model approached me to be a judge. I worked with Lisa Snowdon. I ended up at number 10 Downing Street twice. I worked with on a presentation with Sherry Blair. Fundraised for the Children's Trust, as well as St Thomas Lupus Trust. I've taken part in fundraising recently for the environment. It's for the Marine Conservation Society, so that'll be for my swim next year.
Amazing.
And then I also developed my own perfume, which was something I always wanted to do. So it went from my hats I was creating to perfume, which is the greatest, like a bon mariage of ladies who want something beautiful to wear and then to be, covered in a beautiful scent. And so the day of lockdown, while everyone was, panic moment, what are we going to do? I was like, oh my God, this is heaven, it's creative time. And I created the perfume sculpture, which is one of the world's most unique, unusual perfume sculptures. And it's all based on the Far East and the Orient, with auspicious symbolisms all around it, from intertwined Japanese cranes, meaning love and longevity.
Where can we see the sculpture?
Oh, well, you have to go to my website.
Okay.
Yes, so do peek on that. And and hopefully you'll get to see the creation there, and also to try on the scent.
Absolutely.
Make an appointment with me.
Yes, please. So how do you? Obviously, it sounds like you've been in a lot of high pressure environments. So how do you protect your mental health?
We all have different ways of protecting our mental health. I firstly don't. This is a very personal thing to ask me this. So we're all different in our ways. Yeah. I don't see my mental health as my mental health. I just see it as me, Louis. And one of the things I've been a great advocate for is my exercise. So my day begins at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'll be jumping out of bed, make the other half, the tea and the fresh fruit. And once that duty's done, I'm off to the gym. I'm working out in the spa. I'm doing all my exercises. Amazing. Seeing friends there, and then as soon as I've done that, it's into the studio, working on designs, creations, working on the press, whatever it is I have to do for the day. So for me, I definitely think exercise, especially cardio, it's just the best thing. And you know what? You don't need to go to a fancy gym. You don't need to, the in place. Forget all that stuff. You just need a pair of good trainers, get a pair of Adidas trainers and get out there running. That's all I say. Really? Jog and be inspired by nature. I mean, you go into the forest, or you're running around the city on all the pavements and seeing all these faces, these crazy faces everywhere. It's brilliant. I love it.
Sounds like it sets you up for the day as well. So you do it in the morning, and your energy is just amazing.
Yeah, maybe I need to dial it down sometimes.
No, please do not. It's really good.
Yeah, bit of a hyper kid. When I was a child growing up, some people are just born with hyperness.
Walk into a room and you light it up, Louis. So keep the energy.
Thank you.
Louis, I want to ask you this. What's the one belief or principle that guides you through challenges?
I think it's being honest, kind, respectful, understanding people, trying to problem solve and talk things through, not only with other people but with yourself.
Yeah.
Going back to the pen and paper technique, I mean, it sounds so antiquated, but sometimes just writing things down can help, because when you focus everything in your mind, it all becomes a little bit blurry and a lot happening, and then you're thinking of day-to-day living. And I just still think that bullet point and a target list to follow really does help. And just listen to people. If someone's in need, or you pick up that someone needs help, just take the time out to put your phone away. Computer can wait until another day. Shut the door and just spend time with a friend, or family friend, or whoever it is, and just listen. And talking is such a good thing.
It is. What would you give to our viewers today to help rebuild their motivation? And me.
No, do you know what? At the end of the day, do something for others sometimes can help. So in this particular case, we have a close dear friend, Angela. And my friend, who was her husband, we were at school, boarding school from the age of 9, with best friends, and he got very unwell. And I just thought, well, what can I do, to support and help? And Angela approached me, and, we've been supporting CCC, which is Care, Community and Cancer. She's been putting amazing projects, from celebrity auctions, amazing stuff that she's doing out there. And Miss Britannia was then formed for that.
Our event, the polo.
Absolutely, that's right. We did a celebrity catwalk show. It was amazing. And, you know, with the charity, I feel I need to give back something. It inspires me that I'm doing back something. And like most things in life, I think it's really important to just put your best foot forward.
Oh, thank you, Louis. Louis, thank you so much for your very honest, down-to-earth conversation today. If stress in the workplace is affecting your mental well-being, you can find information about workplace support through the Mental Health Foundation at www.mentalhealth.org.uk. Louis, thank you again for sharing your journey.
It's been wonderful.
You've just really motivated me as well. I'm ready to go. But it's been lovely, absolutely lovely. And I hope we can have you again as a guest. That would be amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daniela.